Watch it. Oh my God. 3/4 of a bucket. Holy God, I can't walk on the river here. Dang. I gotta go put those back. Yeah, I can get them in the tank immediately.
My elbow's down there cleaning and sweep the net so the current flows through it better. And it'll fish better tonight. And just a few rocks on the bottom so the eels don't swim up underneath. You shouldn't untie that.
No, it'll come undone.
Oh. Well, that's a bit putting on. 2012 and 13, there was just hundreds of people poaching. You know, friends and brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers and uncles and cousins. They're all going after that mighty dollar because one of their family members or something had a license and they could sell all the eels. We're so poor here, we have no money. When you're sitting there thinking the eels are worth $2,000 a pound, a little cup full of eels, you know, you could go get a quarter of that and fill my refrigerator full of food or pay a bill maybe or something, you know, light bill. And they were grateful to be able to do that. But we got it cleaned up pretty good now. You're in a pickle now.
What?
You're in a pickle now.
My name is Douglas Watts. I live in Augusta, Maine, at the head of tide of the Kennebec River, which is where we are now. And so at this time of year, October 2017, there are now thousands and thousands of eels which came into the ocean, only this big, and are now almost as wide as this map and thicker than my fist. It's of very great concern to the entire Atlantic coast that we now have eel populations at maybe 1% of what they should be. And what my brother and I have been doing now for 15 years is trying to get these animals back to where they always have been since the last ice age.
When I start seeing the eels, I can't go to sleep. It's like Christmas. I can't wait to see what's in that net. My uncle got us into it, got my brother into it, and then my brother got me and Chris into it. In fact, even years ago, my wife did a little dipping with me. You know, it was the money that got us into it. It's changed my life. It made it so we could get here. In this house, that's how we was able to come here, it's because of the eels.
Such a big net for such a little eel, huh? It's crazy.
When we first started doing it, there was a lot of fighting. A lot of my eels that got stolen might have been from a family member, the one who actually got us all into it in the first place.
Ready, boy?
Yep.
Because it didn't bring the community together, it tore people apart. That's kind of why Chris and I joined hands with this fishery. So we ain't fighting over a spot. Instead, we fish together. But they're looking at my dick, they're still coming.
I want to see them in a bucket. I don't really care about them in the net.
I know they regulated it because people were poaching and stuff like that, but a lot of us were legal fishermen.
Just think we'll be eating that in sushi in another 5 years right there.
They're getting them up per pound within a year.
Have you ever ate them?
To watch them swim across the top of that water is just, to me, amazing. I think they're like ghosts on the water, but now they're dollars going across the top of the water.
First one down to 11.
EEL right here will be in China in 6 days. Number of pounds that he caught, 10 pounds. Price per pound is $1,250. Total of $12,500. Now this whole transaction in real time has been recorded with the state of Maine. They know exactly how many eels have been caught. That's good. You can buy out of my pickup truck. It's legal to have a mobile buying unit. Fishermen bring them in, you pay them, weigh them up, and pay them in cash. 2012, I passed out $12 million in 10 weeks. I'd have to go to the bank 3 times a week, get 600 grand in cash to pay the fishermen. Now, you're required to have a fixed building to buy the glass eels from.
Probably on an average, I probably get 5 hours sleep a day during elder season, and that's pushing it.
How do you stay awake? Are you like drinking coffee?
Drive the coffee to me. It picked up around here back in the early 90s, but people have been doing it for a long time, getting $15 and $20 a pound. But the minute it hit $1,000 a pound, it's, oh, wait a minute, they're endangered. 2013, it changed my life for that whole year. I bought a four-wheeler. I made probably a good year's salary in 4 days. I mostly sell to Bill Sheldon. I've known Bill for probably 20 years, 30 years.
My brother and I, back in 2004, filed a formal written 40-page scientific petition to list the American eel under the U.S. Endangered Species Act. And the Departments of Interior and Commerce have said no. So that's where we are. So once again, the United States is lagging behind everybody else. Fanny, you want to eat? Come here, baby. You've got the Japanese and Asian eel buyers basically running around handing out $1,000 bills to every Tom, Dick, and Harry on the coast of Maine who has a fyke net and a pickup truck. The story of the Elver fishery is very simple. It's called greed. If someone offers to pay you $1,500 a pound for something that you can get out of a local stream, you're going to do it. If someone said, Doug, I will give you $5,000 for a bucket of dirt from your backyard, it'd look like the moon. Now you've got the seeds and mechanism for an immense black market. All they want are glass eels, which they can then transport alive back to Japan and Asia, where they can be grown to adulthood to about this long, and then they can be served in restaurants. It's a gold rush, and that's why it is now so hard to stop. Elvers are now the second most valuable commercial fishery in Maine, next to lobsters.
elvers are small. If you have a 5-gallon bucket, you could fill it with elvers that probably worth $500,000. So there's a lot of poaching going on, and the state knew that it had a problem on its hands. Operation Broken Glass is a undercover sting operation that was set up by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to address the issue of poaching. It was in 2015 they started to indict people, and so far they have 17 people who have pled guilty in federal court in 3 different states to trafficking in poached elvers that were caught illegally. Bill Sheldon, he agreed to plead guilty. He could face 5 years in prison. His attorney, Walt McKee, has said that he is a legitimate businessman who's done a lot of legal elver transactions for decades now. He said that only 16 of them were transactions involving poached elvers, which, minimizes kind of the scope of the illegal behavior, but it raises a question, why? If he has thousands and thousands and thousands of transactions that he can do on the books in accordance with the law, then why do these 16 little ones that have gotten him in so much trouble? He's largely regarded as helping to establish Maine's elver fishery. He used to work for the Department of Marine Resources back in the 70s, I think it was, a long time ago. And then realized there was potential there for selling elvers to the Far East.
Yeah, 2 wheels too. I'll get it out.
Most every elver fisherman has dealt with Bill Sheldon at one point or another.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was nervous last night.
That's a dipping out the eels. Last year I was just fishing and doing my eel nets and doing otherwise. And this year I decided to open up a shop to buy eels. It hasn't really been working out that great because I'm competing with the biggest buyer in Maine right beside him. A mile down the road here. Bill Sheldon cornered the market basically. I mean, he was the only buyer around, so he could dictate any price you want. But by me being here this year, it's kept the price in check for higher money for the fishermen. So they've made out on my behalf. Bill Sheldon, he's in a little trouble, and hopefully he's gonna disappear, and things will help out for me on that part. But we're just giving it a whirl, and if we don't make no money, then we'll probably close up. Let the biggest eel buyer in Maine buy eels.
I like Bill. I've sold to him for years. You know he must have made $1 million that year. So I've been reading it. He did get 6 months sentence. Agreed. It's just terrible. And he's kicking himself in the back. I've always been right by the book with everything I do because my licenses are precious to me. This year it's been a little tough. We're just starting to see them. Keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully we'll start getting them.
The eels have been sending us a message now for the last 200 years that if we keep doing what we're doing, they are going to disappear. If you catch all the babies, you're not going to have adults. And that means all the animals which depend on them for food are going to suffer as well.
So Maine's really the epicenter of elver fishery in the United States. And if the Marine Fisheries Commission came along and said, we believe that the American eel is in danger, which means you can't fish anymore, all that money would disappear.
If I didn't have an eel license, I'd probably be a stern man on a lobster boat, or digging clams, or worming, doing something. Not making a lot of money.